Yeah, we back up now. I don't know what happened. I think we had a little connection problem there. Yeah, and through the internet, I couldn't tell what was going on, but I lost you. But Dante, if you can come back up, that'd be great. Let's sign back in. But any rate, if you're still out there, we're here. I'm waiting for you to come back in, Dante. But yeah, here we go. All right. Yeah, a couple more seconds. He'll be back. Yeah, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm
Yeah, I don't
here.
know what something. I don't know. I think it might have happened on my end. I couldn't tell.
Nah, it's cool, man. It's
Yeah,
technology. It don't work always.
yeah. But again, it's just like you said. Hey, turn over, get over.
Yes. Keep moving.
And,
Keep
and you
moving.
know, just to add the last thing, I think you were making a point about. We were talking about making adjustments,
Correct.
and we were talking about with coaches, the thing we learned behind the closed doors that everyone else
Yes.
was there learning out on the floor. Those were the real discussions.
Those were the coaching
Yeah,
moments.
yeah, how to humble yourself, how to be
Yes.
quiet, even when
Yes.
even when you know everything, you feel like you know
Absolutely.
everything. You have to sit there and just absorb because
And
they
know
will.
nothing. You
Yeah,
have to
and
know
no, yeah,
nothing. You
yeah,
have to know nothing. And I
yeah,
think because when you know nothing, now you really are open to new information, new ideas. And I think that's why the game has grown. And I think it goes back to coaches coaching other coaches.
yes. And you know what? The mentoring process in
That's
this,
big.
in our field, player development and in
Yes.
coaches, it's not.
Yes.
I've seen it go to another level through this pandemic because we've had the community start talking to each other again.
Right.
Everyone was on that track running so fast. No one looked to the left. No one looked to the right. To even
Correct.
say, "Hey, man,
Correct. Correct.
I can help you with that. I can help you with that."
Yes.
And the tough
Yes.
thing about me, everyone calls me for help.
Of course.
But the thing is, but the hardest part for me a lot of times is that I can
You gonna
find
call
no
nobody.
one to help me.
Yes. Correct.
And
Correct.
and sometimes that's hard. I'm gonna be
It
honest.
is, and that's why we go back to fellowship. That's why connecting and you and I conversing, you and I talking, you and I really wrestling through some ideas, or even you helped me make some adjustments in a playoff run one time. I remember even just from some just zone. I was like, Kev, I'm thinking about doing this, and I remember this. You said, Tay, don't go zone until the second half. And you told me, I was like, we talked about why going zone in the second half. And because you talked about one incident when you as a coach, you was coaching the guy, you was winning him, you was beating him. And then next thing you know, he went zone on you
Yeah. We
in the
talking about
second half.
You talking about when we went? I was in Westchester. I
Yes.
remember specifically. You talking about the Erie Bayhawks game? I remember we came out. We were playing Erie. At the time, they were Erie. Now it's the Hawks
Yes.
team. But it was a tough game. I mean, we were really playing well. We played against Seth Curry.
Okay.
Seth
And I
really.
worked on him this summer too, man. He's a good kid, good
Oh yeah.
muscle,
Oh, the
man.
whole Curry
Tremendous
family is
basketball
great.
player.
That whole family is great. But
Oh man, and then now the family's about the blood of basketball is about to go deeper now. I
yeah,
mean,
absolutely, absolutely. But I remember that game so vividly because we were really playing well. We were really moving the ball effectively throughout within the offense, the system, and
yes.
and all of a sudden they made an adjustment at halftime, and they went zone. You know,
Mm,
every time we came out of timeouts or anything, so they really disrupted our flow. So that's
correct.
when I started picking. I said, man, I've seen that before, but I
Yes.
realized that you can dismantle people by adjusting styles of your defense. Like people
Correct.
think, like today, people try to say, well, we got to get more possessions. More possession on the
Pace,
offense.
pace,
No,
pace,
let me tell
pace.
you something. Let me tell you, you get back in the game on defense by making adjustments out of timeout.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I learned a lot of lessons that year on how to make adjustments out of timeouts defensively
Yeah.
in terms of, the importance of utilizing,
ATOs. Yep.
maximizing your staff in terms of leaning on
Absolutely.
them
What's up,
about
Rob? South
tendencies.
Star?
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
But the
yeah.
thing
That's
is,
my boy
you
South
learn more about
Star.
tendencies. Tendencies
Yep.
of guys because your assistants are there. You got 3 or 4 of them. And,
Yep.
you know, now
Absolutely.
so they know the tendencies of each player based on a scouting report. So
Absolutely.
it's your job to take advantage of all those things that they're talking about in those timeouts concerning things you need to do defensively to affect their flow. So
Correct.
those are things you know it's hard to learn until you're in those moments. You know,
Absolutely.
you can talk about it, but it's nothing like that experience. And the things
Well, and that's one thing too. I've been real fortunate because I got into head coaching on a professional level really young, and I'm about 10 years in now, and I've been fortunate to call a lot of timeouts. And I think that's a difference even from a player development standpoint.
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
McCurry, Cal Berkeley, I see you. Yeah, I've been able to call a lot of timeouts by being in that position where a lot of coaches, a lot of player development coaches, sometimes they've never been able to call a timeout. I don't care if it's calling a timeout in high school. I don't care if it's calling a timeout in the district championship. I mean, call a timeout. You know, and then sometimes you remember even in the camp days, we were coaching against other coaches in the camps.
Yeah.
And that was another way for you to exercise and call a timeout.
Yeah. I mean,
but a lot of times, guys aren't calling timeouts.
Yeah, I mean, you know me, I'm animated. My thing is, it's another level of pressure when everyone does this. Let me tell you something, but when you got millionaires like this, and that board's in your hand, you better know what you're talking about.
Man, you better draw something that makes sense.
Yeah, you better know what you're talking about. And here's the thing that I try to tell young coaches today: draw something simple. Hey, make it simple. Because the thing is, in your head, your head is spinning. You're trying to think, I got
100 miles a minute.
No, let me tell you something. I learned one of the greatest lessons early on in my career. Cedric McGinnis. We were in the PBL, and I remember I was brought up all this stuff, and he looked at me and said, "I don't like that." I said, "Huh?" And he said, it hurt my feelings. And finally, I said the most wonderful words in the history of coaching. I said, "Where do you want the ball?"
That's it. That's it. That's the word.
He said, "I want it right here." I said, "All right." I said, "Boom, boom, 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 boom. Here's the ball. Do what you got to do." Guess what happened? We went out and won the game because it was a balance.
Yes.
What happens is you know you want to get the ball to that player in that situation. The thing is, you need finding out where he wants the ball.
Absolutely.
Is more critical than
it's more important than the play.
Yeah.
It's more important. And here's why it's more important than the play. Because now it takes a secure coach to be able to empower his best player or his game-winning player. Yes. I mean, it takes a secure coach to be able to do that. It's funny. I was in a similar situation where I had a dribble play. I drew it up for one other player, and the player told me in the huddle. Now he told me in the huddle. Listen, he told me in the huddle. Yeah, he said, "I believe in this guy." I'm like, "I'm drawing the play up for you."
Yeah.
He said, "I believe," but he want me to give the ball to somebody else. And so immediately I have to adjust and look at all the players in the eyes, and I'm looking at the guy who had the look in his eye like, "I want the basketball." And I'm like, "Okay, scratch that. High pick and roll, come up here. We in the bonus, drive to the basket, pull up here, boom, give us a second chance." Long story short, that player, we lose that game. And I told that player, who happened to be one of my franchise players, and I told him, I said, "If you can't take franchise pressure and franchise heat, then you're not a franchise player." And that was a real conversation I had to have with him. If you want to be a franchise player, you got to take franchise heat. You got to take franchise pressure. Now, I will say, after that conversation, he put the time in the gym, and he had those moments later in the season where he won games for us because he was able to handle that franchise pressure. But in that moment, when I looked him in the eye, he talking about, "I want you to go to that." I'm like, I was going to you. But you realize everybody's not made to make that game-winning play. Everybody don't want that heat. Everybody don't want that spotlight. Yeah. And some coaches don't want it either. It's different when you calling that timeout. It's different when you in that huddle and you got 5 guys that's in the huddle listening to you, and you got the other 8 guys that are listening to see what they need to learn. Like, that is an important moment in the huddle.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of takes me back to my assistant days I learned a lot.
What's up, Remy? Chuck, I see you.
Yeah, I know I learned a lot about situations as an assistant coach because
Remy's a big deal. Remy's a good dude too, man, on the training, man. Remy
really,
does good work. Yeah, he does
wow.
really good work.
Okay.
Shout out to him in Miami. Chuck is based out of Philly, doing great work for the basketball world.
Chuck, yeah. Work with
my nephew, Twan.
He was big with the Morris boys. The Morris twins.
Yeah, he is. He's real. He does a good.
Yeah,
he does good work.
all those guys came through the academy.
They did. The Morris twins did come through the
academy.
academy.
We were talking about everybody came through the academies. You know,
that Nike Skills Academy was a real deal, man.
I remember working with Anthony Davis, Julius Randle. I mean, my list goes so long of guys that I've touched that I can't. Like everybody's in the league today as an all-star. I touched those guys.
Blessed.
And all of us touched them in one way or the other because with the position camps, we were able to get our hands on. But the thing is, back to the coaching standpoint, while we were developing those guys, another thing that we did that people don't talk enough about, we always had the 3-on-3 and the 4-on-4 and the 5-on-5 scrimmages within the positions. And what we would do as coaches, Tate, Kev, and all of them would go around and give us boards and have us draw up stuff to see if they could take information. Even these guys.
Big.
He said,
you know what's funny about players today, though?
Where guys,
that's so funny.
Can they see it on the board? And it gives you a chance to coach. It gives you a chance to communicate more. It gives them a chance to listen more. And the thing is, when you get in camps, everything's just about go, 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 go.
Go, 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 shoot, 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 dribble, dribble, dribble.
Exactly.
But now you're putting them in a live game situation and you're able to see their intellect. Can you, like you said, can you take what I'm putting on this board here and implement it into the game? And now you think about it, you're drawing up 3-on-3 plays.
Yeah.
Those are different plays.
Yeah, let me tell you something. Hey, I remember, I'm gonna tell you, Coach E set me up, man. We were up in New Jersey. We were doing we had a combined camp of the PGs and the bigs. So Kyrie was
killing.
Yeah, Kyrie.
He just signed his deal.
In the league already. And Anthony
he just signed his deal.
So check this out. So I said, you know what? These boys set me. I think everybody was in on this because they wanted to play in scrimmage with the college players.
Right.
And me, they were like, well, who wants to coach? This team. I tell you, let's put Kel with Kyrie and AD. So, they come to the huddle, and I'm like. So I grabbed the board. The first thing I did, I was like, I was pretty astute that time. I said, "What y'all want? What y'all want to run?" He said, "We want to do some zipper actions." I said, "Cool." So I put them in a little zipper action. Boom, they came up and let them play. And I stood back, and the smartest thing I could have done was this right here.
That's why.
Hey,
the work is already done.
Because they know how to play.
The work is already done. And you know what you did, though? You empowered them to go do the work as a coach. A lot of coaches, they can't do this. This is what makes Phil Jackson so amazing to me as a coach.
No, he
was the master, yes, at what it looked like he was doing nothing. Yes.
Dude, yeah, man. Yeah.
What's up, Steph? Yes, absolutely. He was the master at doing nothing, what it looked appear, because he'd already done the work. The work is in the communication. The work is in the conversations. That's really where the work is done. Getting yourself to the player can actually hear you and want to hear you.
Yes. Yeah.
But if you come in here with like a bulldozer, hey, listen to me, we're going to run this. No, the first thing you did was, I got two great players here. What do y'all want to run?
Yeah, and the thing is, that was my next discussion with you, talking about the change of venue. Of how we deal and communicate with players today. Like everyone always talks about I always talk about Phil all the time. When I was in New York, I knew a lot about him coming in, but sitting in those breakfast meetings in the morning at cafeteria, I learned more at that time about things that I had no idea that he used to implement with his teams. He would say how he would take other scenarios from other he would take clips from movies. Poems and stuff, and what he would do, he would just leave them in guys' lockers, and they would read them, and they would practice, and then they say, "Oh, I get it."
Nice.
But the thing is, like, he was doing that stuff years ago that now it's become the norm.
Absolutely. Phil was very instrumental in creating ways for people to see basketball in a holistic way.
Yes.
Like he was able to
about,
connect the yoga into the game, the
Yeah.
mindfulness into the game.
Yeah.
I mean, he was able to create how to be a student into the game of basketball. And I read a lot of his books. More Than the Game was one of the first books I read about with Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
And then even how we watching this documentary now, he came up with the theme, The Last Dance.
Yeah.
He came up with that theme at the beginning of the year and positioned it to his team. And that's something that I've been able to implement with my coach, my players too. I try to come up with a theme and we build on this. Let's build on these things. But I make those guys come up with it. And I wait till about 2 weeks into training camp. After training camp, guys got a good idea. And then we get to get an idea of who you get to see who your leaders are. You make guys stand up, make guys communicate, and you make guys have an input. Because now I believe a team that's driven by the players is more influential than a team that's driven by the coach.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them to have just my personality. I want them to have an identity to the game of basketball, an identity to the roots that they've established and how they're going to build and growing the basketball team. And that's how you're going to win. Because if you don't win in the locker room, you're not going to win on the court.
Man.
And I really believe that you win in the locker room first, then you win on the basketball court.
Wow.
Lolo's Kitchen, the amazing food.
That's big, man. You've grown a lot, man.
But I'm grateful for you, though. I'm grateful for you because you've helped me grow. And I think that's something that coaches, player development coaches, players, people in general, you got to get around somebody that knows something that you don't know. If I'm the smartest guy in my circle, then I need a different circle. If I'm the smartest guy in the room, then I need to get to a different room. You have to be around other people that help you become great by challenging your ideologies, challenging your thought processes, challenging your thinking, challenging your viewpoints on stuff, and really bringing out a better formula to create success for basketball.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the hammer on the nail right there, man. Because that's the hardest thing at times because we don't get those opportunities enough because everyone, I was telling you before, everyone's pulling on us.
Absolutely.
I always look forward to being around guys that that know more. Like I had a great experience being around Gerald Wilkins early on in my career. Like G Wilkes.
Me too.
I remember G Wilkes came to one of my practices and he was like, yo, kid. He said, per position. What are you thinking of this? And I'm like, so it slowed me down.
Yes.
And I was like, and he said, and I remember he took me to Waffle House and sat me down and talked to me about, he's like, look, you got to teach per position.
Yes.
He said, I see your overall scheme. He said,
right.
Per position. And the thing is today, in transition to our next topic with you about positionless basketball.
Yes.
And the thing is, the guys of the era before me, we could identify a player based on the position.
Correct.
And the need based, what they need to be able to do, the emphatics. Where today, it's kind of hard in the player development because everyone's doing the same thing.
And it's funny you say that. And, I'm big on positionless basketball. And I think the two reasons that I'm big on positionless basketball is because of the triangle offense. Yeah. I love the fact that I can put many guys in different places in a position and we know where to flow. Yeah. And then I'm also big on the architect of positions of basketball with Scottie Pippen and how he's transitioned and impacted the Tony Kukoses, the Lamar Odoms of the world, the Draymond Greens of the world. And you're right, positionless basketball allowed guys to really be versatile, but you still knew Scottie Pippen was a small forward. Yeah. You still knew how to position these guys in the game, but I think the Bulls really tricked everybody. You got to think about it. You got Tony Kukoc, your sixth man, who's 6'11" / power forward, who was an original stretch four.
But could play the
before
two.
The Dirk Nowitzki. Right.
That could play the two.
that can play the two. He could go 2 through 4.
Yeah.
Confidently.
Yeah.
You got Dennis Rodman, who's really 6'8", but his skill set is in rebounding.
Yeah.
He's 6'8", but when he was in the Pistons, he was a small forward. John Sally was the power forward.
Yes.
Then you got Ron Harper, who in Cleveland days was a shooting guard.
Yeah.
Now, in the triangle, we're going to move him to the point guard.
Yeah.
Especially from a defensive standpoint. We're going to put this length at 6'6". We're going to create this Doberman defense. And so I'm big on positionless basketball because it gives Draymond Green a chance to be impactful. Because now he's really, we're going to say for media purposes, 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah.
But he played the 4 in Michigan State. He played power forward. But then when you go back to his Saginaw days, he was a point guard.
Wow.
And now you take him full circle in the NBA. He's able to play point. He's able to play power forward defensively. He's positionless. But it takes someone like a Steve Kerr who has the ability to intuitively think about those kinds of things and put Draymond Green in a situation to help him win as a basketball player.
Yeah.
But you still got to label him as the power forward.
Yeah.
And you still got to get that 15 minutes of bump, that 15 minutes of work with other power forwards to become better in the power forward position.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that positionless basketball, they need to merge that. Lamar Odom, yeah, he was able to play 2, 3, 4.
He could play everything.
He could play everything. Bring the ball up, come from the pinch post, come at, be the lag guy, whatever it needed for him to be successful in that group. But he still was a small forward. Pau Gasol was still a power forward. Yeah. So you have to really learn coaches need to know how to blend positions in and teach the fundamentals. Hey, you're big. I need you to give me 10 rebounds.
Yeah.
I need you to give me 10 rebounds. But you have guys that are big that are not getting you 10 rebounds. But you have someone who's electrifying as Russ Westbrook, who's getting you 10 rebounds a night. Mm-hmm. Or Jason Kidd, but you knew he was a point guard. You knew what his job was on that team. So I think, but those position camps and teaching per position, having a coaching staff that can connect with the guards, having a coaching staff that can connect with the bigs, having a coaching staff because now those guys need to hear a voice that they can understand that's going to help them grow and develop as a player.
But that's the point I was just trying to make. That's when I say in player development, that's what's gotten lost now. I mean, I'm 6'8".
Yes.
Almost.
Use it for your time.
I benefited from, I played basically 3 through 5.
Yes.
All my whole career. So I have a lot of insight on how to play this style of play. But what happens today now, what's going on today in our field, we have guys touching guys like myself that have no concept, no idea about the old in terms of what emphatics you have to be able to do from that position. So what happens is gotten lost. So what happens that's why I say so. There's nothing wrong with positionless basketball. What happens is the OGs are not there to teach the facts.
And it's funny you say that. It's so important that there are some things in every position that you must do.
Yes. Like
you at the center position, you got to be able to post up.
Yeah. But you go in development sessions today, everything is spent directly on ball handling.
Yes.
Pick and roll.
Yes.
Run, catch, and shoot.
Yes.
And coming downhill at people.
Yes.
Which is fine. But the thing is, those are tendencies of 2s and 3s.
I had a player tell me that one time, too.
Huh?
I had a player tell me that. He was like, Coach, make sure I get – because I knew where his game was, but I also knew where his game needed to develop and really reshape.
Yeah.
But he would always say, hey, make sure I get a little bit of this in. And so then I started to do that differently. I said, hey, I'm going to make sure we're going to get 15 minutes of this footwork. But I need you to really focus in on being able to shoot off the dribble. pickups. I really need you to be able to move off of a V cut or whatever the case may be, box cut. I need you to develop these other things to help you be able to play with other players and to help you give more time to your career. But if you don't have conversations and you don't have what you said, emphatics, hey, you playing the point, you gotta set the table. You have to set the table. And we know Magic Johnson set the table better than anybody. You have to set the table for your teammates, for your coaches, for the people around you to really shine.
Yeah.
If you play in the point guard position.
Yeah.
If you in the paint, you got to protect the paint.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to protect the paint. If you at the 2, you either better be able to shoot this thing or you better put some buckets up.
Yeah.
I mean, I need those. And if you're a 3, I need your versatility. I need you to be able to complement offense, complement defense, complement ball handling.
4. Got to be able to guard 1 through. Got to be able to guard through 1 through 4.
Got to be able to guard.
I'm gonna tell you a kid that exemplifies that today. That's an all-star, young all-star, Jason Tatum. Because I'm gonna tell you,
I like his game.
When Tatum came out to the academies as a sophomore, that was the first time I saw him. And I remember we were at KD's camp, and we were all sitting around. Even KD said, "Watch out for that kid there. He gonna make it." And he gonna make it. We were like, "Why?" He was like, "Because he understands how to get the spots on the floor." And one thing about KD, as great as KD is in an individual setting in terms of attacking you one-on-one, he still knows how to get the spots on the floor.
Get the spots and get a shot off that he wants.
Exactly.
That he wants. And I think this is another thing, and this is why I like Tatum, and you mentioned this too, and this is why I like KD. In the world of player development, those are 2 guys who still utilize the mid-range game.
Oh, yeah.
They know I got to get a bucket. And if I got to get a bucket, I'm going to get a bucket wherever I can get a bucket from. If I can shoot the 3, great. If I can get to the basket, great. But I don't mind getting 2 points by slashing into this mid-range and getting a bucket. And I think from a developmental standpoint, what is lost, in my views, is there's not a great concentration on the mid-range game. And I'm hoping that through this documentary of The Last Dance, that guys will begin to understand Mike was 50% in that run on that last dance. So that means 1 out of every 2 times down the court, he got a bucket.
Yeah. On
the right side or left side, wherever he come down the court once, he missed. The next time was a bucket. Come down. So, and he's the greatest, in my opinion. He's the greatest scorer to ever play the game.
Yeah.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the hook shot. It was a mid-range shot. Karl Malone coming off the pick and roll, making buckets. He was making that mid-range pull-up. Tim Duncan, he killed the mid-range. Kobe, 30,000 points off of mid-range and 3-pointers. So again, a lot of times guys don't understand the value from a developmental standpoint of how important that mid-range game is. And now this is where it gets tricky. And this is what I love about you, is that I can teach you from a point guard, from a 2 guard, from a 3, where your mid-range opportunities are going to come from. And I think because you have everything from the inside the paint and outside the 3, I think that's why positionless basketball has shifted. Because now you got your small forward who's athletically probably going to be better handled than the guy guarding him, or maybe a little bit more athletic than the guy guarding him, or better shooter, but he can utilize his versatility to get a bucket. Now, if I just got 3 and even Steph Curry, as great as a shooter he is, he gets to the the mid-range and gets buckets. And I just think that's important to the game of basketball and where the development has to go to the next level.
Yeah, I'm looking at this question. So
this is a good question. Somebody asked, what's the development aspect for a 5th grader?
Well, I can answer that quickly. First thing you want to do, first thing you want to do when you come in with a kid at that age, you want to establish their feet.
That's good.
You hear people talk about footwork all the time. Let me
That's
tell you
good.
something. They must have great footwork and hand-eye coordination.
Man,
So you
I need
want
to
to
expound on that because I think that's another missing piece to development. Because even footwork, there's so many variations of footwork. You got footwork off the catch. You got footwork off the dribble. You got footwork off the pick and roll. You got footwork in the post. You got footwork on a shake to a corner shot. You got footwork on drags. I mean, it's so many different levels of footwork, or both like say feet work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you have, you have so many variations to footwork. There's footwork on floaters. There's footwork on level 1 finishes, level 2. I mean, footwork is so vast. And so this guy, I don't know his name, Sledge2396. What's the development aspect for a 5th grader? You got to start in the feet. Your footwork has to be impeccable. I mean, I'm talking about even the basics of left, right.
Oh, yeah.
Pivot, pass. Left, right, reverse pivot, pass.
Yeah.
Right, left, pivot. I'm talking about the basics of footwork is the foundation for basketball.
Yeah, teach them. Yeah. And all those things can be taught, but you have to do it, including the feet. I think a lot of times what happens early on, kids get in the gym and they're so enamored of shooting all the time, they forget that your feet are connected to it.
Absolutely.
So my thing, I always tell people all the time, feet first, balance. Mechanics. Follow through. But the thing is, it begins with your feet. The thing is, you can't play through your heel. You got to play through the balls of your feet.
Man, that's
so
good.
What we do is and I mean, it makes you a better defender.
Absolutely.
It makes you more explosive.
Yes.
Yeah, everything.
Yes.
So you have to understand those things. Then balance becomes another thing. When you go in the gym, I always talk about balance. Make sure that your workouts are balanced.
That's good. Now let's talk about that, because you went two levels of balance on me. You went balance for player, but then you went balance for workout. So break those two things down.
What happens? You spend too much time on one thing.
That's not balance.
The thing is, sometimes go in the gym and have 3 things that are emphatics that we have to work on. Sometimes you do that. That's good, especially in the early stages. What happens is, because of the internet and YouTube, kids see so much stuff that they get introduced to it too early.
Yes. Too much exposure.
I remember in the 1st grade when I was coming along, it was like we had to learn how to hold that fat pencil and write through the big lines. And we had to learn how to make draw those letters perfect. Yes. And the thing is, that's what's lost in player development today. Everyone wants to come in and combo and hit everybody.
Yes.
I'm seeing kids that are like 9 years old already trying to sham God. Like, yo.
Yes.
Like, I can see that you have the potential of doing that, but let's learn first how to get that ball on the snap.
Correct.
All right?
But that's when you talk about total player development is what you said. Learning all phases of the basketball game. You're learning. Sometimes you got to learn how to sit on the bench.
Yeah.
Even as coaches,
that's part
you
of
got to sit on the bench and say nothing. Players, sometimes you got to learn how to sit on the bench. You got to learn how to be humble. Hey, you know what? Yeah, you're great. Yeah, you're the best 8th grader, but that's a bad shot. I need you to come sit down over here. I mean, so balancing in your workouts, and you're right. I see so many player development guys, but it goes down to they don't have a system. That's why people don't have a balanced workout. So if I go to your workout, I know it's going to be a balance. If I go to Bo's workout, I go to Chris Johnson's workout, I know it's going to be a balanced workout. I go to my workout, it's going to be a balanced workout. Balance means it's going to be some ball handling. It's going to be a lot of footwork in each category. That's going to be moving through everything. It's going to be some finishing. It's going to be some shooting. It's going to be a little bit of cardio. It's going to be some mental toughness. I mean, it's going to be different levels to creating a balanced workout. And I think people don't know how to do that. If they can do that, you can be special. You can be special coach or teacher or player.
Then also another thing I always talk about mechanics. Because your footwork, your balance, your mechanics. So when I say mechanics, people always think about just the shot. No, I'm talking about, your connection to the ball.
That's good.
I'll come in the gym a lot of times and I'll have a guy, I learned this from a good friend of mine, Dorian Lee. we would come in. He always talks about hand control on the ball, learning how to feel the basketball, make sure you have total connection with it when you're handling it, and shooting. And the thing is, it's something that's not emphasized enough early on with young kids. They don't know the placement on the ball. What happens is they develop these tendencies, and now they're 12 and 13. Then they come in contact with a guy like myself or you,
right,
or another great player development coach, and then we have to reteach them how to even hold the ball.
Yes.
How to make connection with it.
Yes.
Because that aspect wasn't taught.
Be locked and loaded.
Yeah. Like I'm talking about literally put the ball in a shooting gun and let it come out and catch it.
Yes.
I mean, you got guys catching and fumbling, and they don't understand that connection on the catch impacts everything. When you start jabbing, shot,
everything.
You catching the ball, you playing with it, you already you're 2 steps behind already, because that defender's already taking that space and you're out of your comfort.
It's on the catch that you, like you said, you have the connection. It's on the catch that you make the next read. It's on the catch. Am I releasing? Am I catching? Am I shooting? Am I catching? Am I dribbling?
Yeah.
I don't really, what's funny about player development? People don't even teach triple threat no more.
No. Well, you know what? Let me take back what I was going to say to you. I didn't want to interrupt you. You're talking.
No, you good.
What's impacted player development the most is analytics.
That's true. That's true.
Analytics has because what happened, it took emphasis away per position of things that are absolutes.
Yes.
Because now everything's about getting threes up.
Yes.
Mid-range is gone. That means get to the cup.
Yes.
And how many times we got to the free throw line.
And what's funny about analytics too, it took feel away.
Yes.
Now guys are analyzing what they may perceive as a good shot versus a bad shot, a good scenario versus a bad scenario. But it takes the feel away. That's what made Jordan so special, Kobe so special. They had great feel for the game. You got to have great feel for the game. We got a question.
Yeah, and coaches, coaches did too.
It says, talk about pace versus speed, coach.
Woo, pace.
That's a good question. That's Banjo. Banjo's smart, though. Me and Banjo was in Macau doing some basketball work, and he came out to LA with me. We did some stuff there. We've been to Chicago. Banjo's a basketball enthusiast, man. He traveled the world. He loved the game. So he asked a great question. He says, talk about pace versus speed. I'm going to let you go.
Well, first of all, pace to me, Doc Rivers always talks about pace. In terms of, we're not playing so fast that we lose our concentration to detail. What happens is if you can watch a game, and we all played at a certain point where you can watch 3 straight possessions. Guys, can take too many threes or not slow down enough to allow the offense to generate other movements which is, sometimes let's go inside.
Yes.
Let's come down. Let's push hard this way, and let's get some activity off the ball where we can get some DHO action. That's part of pace.
Yes.
Because you can do that and you can be moving quickly. If you're just out there and it's just activity and the ball's just bouncing around without those type of movements, now you're playing too fast.
Absolutely.
That's the difference. That's the thing they're talking about, pace and speed. There's a balance of those two, and you have to make sure they work. And what happens at the youth level, because they don't understand that, and you have coaches that are in the gym that want to see things going so fast, they don't maximize those qualities of the game that have to happen, the pin downs, the quick post ups, the immediate DHO actions where guys are coming and rubbing off, and now we get another pin down. All that can happen within 16 to 17 seconds if you use
it in your early offense.
Yeah, so
if you're moving into those things, and these are you got to have those as a coach. You got to have those 3-4 reads that you're using early in your early offense to really increase pace. Not really. It's not about playing fast. It's about playing. Pace is about control. Pace is about being, moving the ball that's getting a quick, early, good shot. Not just getting a good, quick shot. When we talking about somebody playing speed, they just want to get a good shot.
Quick. Well, like we get spoiled today by Harden, and Steph and those guys,
Yeah,
because
special guys,
they're so phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
What's up, JB? I see you.
Players. Say what?
No, JB. He joined in.
Uh-huh.
Good basketball mind right there too, man. Good basketball mind. And he's a development guy.
Yeah. And the thing is, you know, my message to development guys, you know, and I say it to myself all the time, we go in the gym, let's, you know, we know analytics are there. Let's make sure we put guys in position to work on every aspect of things, from a half court, you know, to the full court.
Absolutely.
You know, let's work with guys out of situations. So what happens, we'll be going really hard in the workout, and I'll call a timeout in the workout and stop. Purposely, just to get them to slow down to now receive again. Because what happens is, you know, guys they get in such a routine, it impacts them. They don't know how to adjust the things on the fly.
Right. And that's what you said, calling a timeout. Remember we talked about that earlier.
Yeah, you got to
call a timeout because you got to if you don't call a timeout, even in a player development session, you don't realize how much information this guy can obtain, either by words, either by pen, either by magnets. You got to realize, can this guy make an adjustment now? In the middle of a player development session, we're going through excruciating 30 minutes. Now, timeout. No water timeout, just a timeout for me to talk to you and give you some new information and see your level of processing.
Yeah, and another thing you can do, and another thing I was going to add to that is make sure you ask them what you just went over, and try to get their insight on it.
Man, and JB just asked some good points. JB just said, we love John Wooden. You know what I'm saying? He's the godfather in this game. He said, be quick, but don't hurry. That's what John Wooden loves saying that. Be quick, but don't hurry. And he said, slow to fast, change speeds, change your cadence. Woo. You know, change speeds, change directions. And I think that's also about pace. Because the guys, even in a workout, a guy going 100 miles a minute, that's just speed. That's not pace.
Yeah.
But if you can say, if you like an automatic or a manual, first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear. Now the greats like Jordan looked like he was in fifth gear, but you didn't realize he was only in third until he's bringing all that smoke come that last fourth quarter, 5 minutes, 8 minute mark. And he's like, man, this guy got another gear. That's what made Kobe so special. They was not in a rush. You couldn't speed Kobe up. Remember the story I think Kobe talked about with Shumpert. He told Shump, he said, man, you played a good game. And Shump was like, it's the third quarter.
But them guys, look, but the thing is, those guys were playing chess. Kobe was playing chess.
Chess, not checkers.
Chess. Larry Bird, they're playing chess. What they're doing is they're taking parts of the game and they're putting pieces together. So when they know when the 3 minute mark hits in the fourth quarter, they've already dissected where they need to be, where they need to go, and that's the difference between those guys and the average guys. They're compartmentalizing the game. They're breaking it down. So when they hit that 3 minute mark in the fourth quarter, I know where to go.
Yes,
I know where to go. I know where to get to. I know what to do to help us win. And here's the thing about it. Like, you worked with LeBron last summer. Because we don't have a lot of time, but the thing I always say is that, you did a great job with Bron last summer, and you can see the effects of him in the last 3 minutes. Because I'm going to tell you, I've been watching him, and Mark Jackson made a great statement the other day. I was listening to him. He said, out of all the years I've been watching LeBron, he just arrived. Everybody was like, huh? He said, I understood what he meant by he's just arrived. Here's what I mean. He understands now where to go, and what to get to. Like, I remember we'd be so frustrated talking about, why did he take that three? Because everyone knows, all right, push him left, 2 dribble, step back 3.
Yes.
Then, or he'll go hard at you and go downhill.
Yes. Yes.
And what happened is now he's starting to realize, no, get to the mid post.
I was a nuisance when I worked with Bron, too. I'm going to be honest. I was a nuisance when I worked with Bron. Like, literally, Bron, that's my guy. I got on his nerves in the session.
Sure.
In the session. But you know what? I'll be honest and say this about LeBron. Of all the players I've been able to work with, he was probably the best listener I've ever seen in my life as a player.
Always been
Bron give you eye contact. He was listening. He was taking all the information in. He didn't want to miss nothing. And then one thing about Bron, you could tell Bron something one time, and he got it. You didn't have to tell him twice. Hey, Bron, ball placement when you go here. Ball placement when you go here.
Yeah.
Hey, let's work on this, on your hook shot. Let's work on this. Okay, we're going to work on the mid post. But, I was fortunate to be a part of that development with him over the summer, even like post-injury. He was coming off the growing. And his trainer was there, and Bron, he still like to dunk. He still has that youthfulness to him and that level of explosion. And he was able to modify that to work on other things. So what I think what made LeBron so special was that in the injury, he realized I need to work on other things. I need to work on my ground game. I need to work on my footwork. I need to work on footwork off the catch, footwork off the pick and roll, footwork in the post, and footwork on these finishes. He was able to work and find the other rhythms in being able to impact the game on other levels than just being such a power player and having such a dominant presence. His work and his work ethic. And here's another thing about Bron. Every morning at 5 a.m. now of work, Bron was already fully activated for the workout. So that means if I'm getting there at 5 to do the work, Bron was already fully activated at 4 a.m. going into the work.
Oh, yeah.
So that's another thing that made Bron special. And then we got a shout out to Phil Handy, because Phil, you can see he's getting that Phil Handy bag right now too.
Yeah.
Like you can see that his bag is just opening up. His skill level is opening up. His
he's not a trainer. He's a player development guy.
Oh man, through and through.
He fits what we are.
Through and
now,
through.
And I'm gonna tell you,
but
I'm gonna tell you another thing that LeBron has benefited from that staff. Miles is there.
Miles is there.
Hey, L Train is there.
Yes.
Yeah, and J Kidd. Now, here's what J Kidd has helped him.
It's funny. That staff is loaded. Man.
Yeah. So
I hung out with those guys in China.
Yeah, but they're the masters of situations.
Yes.
So what happened?
Lionel great. They got loaded, man.
In situation basketball. I've been around him. I was, it was great to be in their practices and be a part of those. Because I was around when they were really putting in a lot of situations. So they're helping him under 3 minutes.
Yes.
And that's what he hasn't had. Under 3 minutes in the fourth quarter, where do you go to help us win?
That's good. That's good.
And the thing is, that's the biggest adjustment I've seen him make this year. It really went to another level after the Kobe situation.
Oh man, he
got into another mode of I know where to go. I'm going right here. It's almost like Kobe sat with him before he passed it. Look here, man. In the fourth quarter, take all your shots right here. It's like all the stuff I've been begging him to do all these years. He's finally doing it. So he's
noticed it. You noticed it against the Bucks game, and you noticed it against the Clippers game.
Yeah.
Those two games, you realize he figured it out. He knows the system. But I was able to hang out with those guys, Kev, in Shanghai when we had all of that fiasco going on. We had a big fiasco going on in China with the whole Daryl Morey situation. And even my team was like, hey, coach, make sure you don't talk about this. Make sure you don't say nothing about these things. And I'm like, I ain't going to say nothing. But I hung out with those guys. Rondo and KCP and Taylor and Bron, Dwight Howard, those guys really, really, really enjoy each other off the court.
Yeah.
And then you think when you go back to their coaching staff, you got Lionel Hollis, you got J Kidd, you got Miles, and Vogel, you got Handy. Vogel does a great job of, like you mentioned earlier, he empowers all those coaches to be great at what they do.
Yeah,
and I think that's a good to great coach is when you can say, you know what, this coach is really good here. I need to let him have his freedom and really run with what he's going to do. And I think a lot of coaches want to be micromanaging everything. No, you got great coaches around you. You got these OGs. You got these guys that know the game. Let those guys share because they're going to connect with that player differently than you are. And I think that's something that I saw with those guys too. What's up, Singleton? I see you out here.
Yeah, that's going to be our next installment, man. I think the next time we come out, I want to talk about the power of delegation.
Absolutely.
As
Absolutely.
a coach and player development coach. Because let me tell you something, in player development, you don't see that. And I emphasize that a lot. When I bring guys in, I delegate responsibilities within player development.
I need to talk about that because
even with lesson,
talk about delegation in player development because I think that's an important piece. That's why we like working in the gym together. I want to work with David Singleton that tuned in, or I want to work with a Bo Bell or a JB or a Kevin Whitted or a Banjo, because guess what? We can switch it up. I can say, hey, Banjo, you're going to do ball handling. Hey, I'm going to do finishing. Hey, I'm going to do post work. Hey, you're gonna do this. Sometimes I may even rebound. And I think that's the part of the delegation factor where a lot of guys, they just want to be on the scene, Kev. They don't want to do the dirty work. And I didn't mind being in the room just rebounding. Because sometimes people don't realize being on that weak side, making sure that basketball doesn't go over your head, making sure you can catch that rebound and get it back to the player so the workout stays in the flow, that's important.
Yeah.
And you got to delegate. And it's funny, and people don't realize, even in my session, it was hard for me to trust somebody just to rebound in a player development session.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, dude, the ball keep going over your head. So you really messing up my flow. And so then I started being joking about it. Say, hey, that's a turnover. You know, that's a turnover. Anytime the ball goes over your head, that's a turnover because I need you in position to be able to rebound and get it back to me. Rebound, get it back to you. So now that the workout can keep flowing. But people don't realize when you delegating the workout, I may delegate the workout, but just to rebound so that the pace of the workout can go the right way. And I think a lot of guys don't understand how to delegate because, one, maybe insecurity.
Yes.
That's really what it comes down to.
Like I said, we can be on a whole other hour.
Oh man, we can go. You and I can go though. We talk about all this.
Yeah, and the thing is, we're gonna get back to that. And the thing is, because I learned all those lessons early on. D. Brown taught me how to delegate. He was big with that because I remember, like, just a quick experience. I remember he did it in a game. I remember we were on the bench. He said, "I'm getting ready to get kicked out." I said, "What?" He was like, he slipped the playbook to me and said, "Let me see what you got." Then I remember one time we were up in Maine. Came up to me, the night before and said, "You coaching tomorrow?"
You coaching tomorrow?
Yeah. I said, "What?" And I was like, yeah. He was like, "You got it tomorrow." No. He was trying to teach at that time about being able to switch seats.
Absolutely.
Because guys are so ego driven.
Wow.
They don't.
That's so big. I think that's important.
You don't know how to switch seats, and
I think that's important.
A lot of lessons in that process. Because I think that's important. I leaned back on him, and he was able to grab things that probably he forgot about, and he was able to pour them into me.
Yes.
To help me become better in the situation. We ended up winning that game because we were on a losing skid at the time, and we needed to get out of it.
Absolutely.
And I thought that was big in him to step back to push his staff forward.
I think, I'm gonna shout out a couple people here too, because I saw this and I see this working a lot of times too. Even when JB tuned in too, with Jazz, Quinn Snyder, or even when we seen Lloyd. The summer league was a great place to really switch seats for coaches.
Yes.
And to delegate. You've worked summer league, so you know too, where you working in this staff as the head coach, and then you say, you know what? Hey, I need this guy to be you need to be the summer league head coach. Mm-hmm. I need you to get in the habit of calling timeouts. I need you to get in the habit of using your voice. I need you to get in the habit of sharing your information. Yeah. I need you to get in the habit of empowering a group. I need you to get in the habit of winning. I need you to get in the habit of losing. But you don't get in those habits if I don't delegate and put you in a situation to grow those habits, to grow those skills. Now it's in those fires that your staff can really grow. And I think that's important. Like he said, I'm gonna get kicked out. He put you in a fire. You gotta be put in that fire if you're gonna grow, if you're gonna develop, if you're gonna go to that next level. And even as players, I had to put players in that fire. Hey man, you want to be a captain? Okay, I'm delegating. These two guys are your guys. I need to know how these guys are doing on a regular basis. You're captain, so you need to lead by example, and you need to rally those guys by example, and you need to level those guys up through your example. So, hey, and I'll be in the huddle. I look at him, and then you got to say something. Even Coach K did that with Kobe and LeBron when he was coaching Dream Team. He talked to those guys before the game. He said, before practice, before they even start, he said, hey, we're going to talk. We're going to draw up everything, and I want you to say something. That's delegation.
You know what? Hey, like I said, I remember that happened when that happened a lot when I was with Chris Brickley. Now, it's like, you know, he's blown.
He works with you in the G League.
Yeah, he was my assistant.
Yes.
He was the player development for both teams.
Yes.
And so he would come back and forth between us. And I remember, you know, we had a lot of moments where I learned those lessons from D. And I said, you know what? We be in games, and I say, Chris, draw something up. But hey, he didn't freeze though.
Nice.
And the thing, and I did that because I was sharpening him.
Yes.
You know, I had every moment in games. I always would grab a guy, and I had Jamal Benjamin. He came in. He was our film guy, and all of a sudden I threw him into the player development.
Nice.
And also I would lean on him and he would also help me with the scouting. So what happened was by putting guys in multiple departments.
Absolutely.
And delegating those responsibilities, what happened, it empowered them. They got better. And when we got in games, I was able to effectively communicate more with them because they had more knowledge about my area. I would dive into their areas. We would just switch roles.
Yes. And that's important too. I think the game has changed in that regard too. Because I think 5 years ago, you had guys that had the title player development coach.
Yeah, now that's all you do. So you just stand like this. Look.
Correct. Now, this resurgence, you got guys, they kind of taking the player development and said, everybody's coaches, but everybody's going to do some player development.
Yeah,
and everybody's got that's one way the game has evolved too, and it's grown. And that's how you grow other coaches.
Yeah, but we learn, like I said, it all goes back to the things we learned at the Skill Academy.
Man, that Skills Academy was loaded, man.
Yeah,
that Skills Academy was loaded.
Yeah,
man.
So all those things, and the thing is, you know,
Nike Skills, man.
I wish I had to go. I gotta get out here on the court, man. I'm
do you think, man?
Hey, love it. This has probably been the best.
you know we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, I'm ready to go out here and do some 360s every day. I mean, that's how loose I am.
Hey, don't get hurt out there. Don't get hurt out there. Don't try to do no Euro 360.
I'll be 49 Sunday. And
you're blessed, man.
49.
You're blessed, man. You're blessed, brother. The game has been good to us, though, man. And I thank God for just the game has allowed me to, you know, make a living, travel the world. And really, the game is really ministry at the end of the day. Let's be real. The game is really about touching lives and really loving on people and really helping men grow into better men. For their families, their friends, their communities. And I think that's one thing that when I look at the foundation of the game for me, it helped me become a better person in my community and be a better example. And you see the game is doing that for so many other lives too, man.
Yeah, man. Operating in grace, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's when you being favored in areas that you had no business being favored.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, you know, that's when grace steps in. But the thing also,
thanks, man, Joe.
When a grace is on you, it also helps you. You're not working anymore.
Absolutely.
The thing is, right now, I'm not working anymore.
Absolutely.
I haven't worked.
No,
you're what I mean by that is like the work is. I'm in rest at what it's already been set up for.
Yes. And you in the flow.
Exactly. So, and that's my message for anyone that's involved with the game today. Get involved with areas that you've been graced to do.
Yes.
Because when that grace
go where you
do it,
led
it
to
won't
go.
be work. It won't be pretentious. It
Absolutely.
won't be, yeah, you're not backbiting. You don't have
Yes.
to do all that.
Yes.
All you do is just flow
Yes.
in what you've been called to do.
Absolutely.
So, that's the
Man,
message.